Hello there, you're very welcome back to the Lads Podcast. This is episode 6. I'm Alexander Hamilton.
And I'm Harrison Ford Jr., his long-lost son.
Oh, did he have a long-lost son? You're very welcome back to the Lads Podcast. Steve, what will we talk about this week?
Well, this week, Daragh, we're going to talk about the modern adult.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
And what it means to be an adult, what it means to be an adult now versus existing cultures back in ye old days.
Cool.
But first, how was your week?
Oh, my, this feels so staged.
It is not staged. It's very much
there is not
flowing.
a massive crew staring at it.
Yeah, I'll just take a glass of water there, Yeah, nice one, yeah. Yeah, two sugars.
Two sugars in your water. And some salt.
Yeah.
Get the
electrolytes
Bit of
Epsom salt, yeah.
Epsom
Did you actually run the bath over there as well, Dylan? Thanks, nice one. Anyway, back to it. How was your week?
Are you paying him this week or am I?
Man, we don't. We never pay him.
I didn't pay him.
I never pay him, do you?
Anyway, how was my week? My week was good, brother. Bit of full-time work.
Okay.
We watched Hamilton last night,
which
is why I introduced myself as Alexander Hamilton. Great show.
Fucking
back of the net.
Excellent show.
Wasn't it good?
In fairness, I was amazed. I was like, this is fucking cracking.
Wouldn't you love to have seen it live, huh?
Oh.
And it just made us kind of realise now before we started doing the podcast, like, live show, that's never going to happen again.
It will, Darragh.
It will.
Not for
40 years.
Yeah, that's it.
When all illnesses have been gotten rid of. Next week now, I'm on the 6 a.m s. You've been doing a lot of those sort of things. How was your week, brother?
Oh, man. Yeah, my week was just work. I did my research for this podcast this morning and a bit of last night. That's how last minute it was. But I'm happy with what I got done. But yeah, it was so up the walls. We'll see now. We'll see how good it is.
Fucking will.
Yeah, 6 a.m. to 4, which isn't that bad. It's only 10 hours.
But what else have you been doing after work?
Oh, I've been building a wee
Steve's
little
been
house.
building a house.
Building a house. Hence, if you're a viewer of this podcast on YouTube, you'll notice the different location we're in. So we're in my parents' living room.
On the comfy couches.
This is the best room ever.
This is brilliant.
This is mad.
I never want to leave this room.
No, it's too feng shui. Yeah, so
it's kind of relevant to this week's podcast.
It is, yeah.
You're building a house. Wait, you're building a house? Not really. And you're just going to live in it. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. We'll park that now and talk about it after.
Brilliant. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it so far. One more week now till we're on podcast 7.
And when we're on podcast 7, there's no going back. We've discussed this, lads. You're fucked from here on out. I'm sorry.
We've a good routine, in fairness.
Yeah, we've done it every week.
Literally.
Steve. Let's get into the juice. Let's get into the gravy.
Steve.
Let's get into the steak.
Steve.
Let's cut into the steak now.
Steve.
Get the blood out of it.
Steve.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, not so bad, you?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm gone anyway.
Go on, ask me a question there.
What is an adult?
So, an adult is a human who is fully grown or developed.
Brilliant. That's it. Podcast done.
That's all you need to know.
See ya.
Are you not developed? Then fucking
develop.
Fuck off.
Why don't you develop?
Just fucking finish developing, will you?
Fuck's sake.
It's very interesting though that we all what age are you when you become an adult? What age do you think you are?
On a biological, they say like when you finish puberty, when you finish adolescence.
Yeah, see, there's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, there is. Well, sure, that's why we're doing a podcast.
Are we doing a podcast? Are we? I thought the crew were just here for
just watching us.
It's actually really weird because you always assume that in our country and a lot of Western countries anyway that 18 is when you're an adult
legally.
Exactly, legally. But it's really hard to, when you actually think about it, it's really hard to put that into one age because there's a lot of factors. I kind of listed out in 5 factors. And
here we go:
laws, responsibilities, biology, psychology, and culture.
This sounds fun.
This is real essay style, bullet points,
God.
Beef Wellington.
This is why people come to the Lads Podcast from essays, huh?
But this is what I am by essay.
You
waffle essay, 40% essays, like.
That's it.
But you know yourself, because like laws in that time, that's where you get your rights to vote, to drive or drink alcohol, consent to sexual activity, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But all these ages vary from country to country.
Yeah, it's mad.
So I think 21 is probably the age where you're definitely in any country, most countries you go to where you're able to do all those things.
Yeah. Moving on from legality, a funny thing, and we discussed this in our first podcast, but a big thing about, I think, adulthood is the fully development of the old prefrontal cortex.
I'll get to all that.
That's fine. Cut that out. Go on, keep going. List your essay, and I'll say nothing.
No, you just fucking just pop off. We go, oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, say nothing. Sit there and say nothing. And then there's this is an interesting one. Another one is responsibilities.
Oh.
Okay, so you know the way adults are supposed to be responsible for things, whereas kids don't have responsibilities, really, do they? I mean, they don't really.
In a good capitalist society, children are paying rent.
Do you know?
You know?
In a very good capitalist society.
Oh, God, if only.
Only.
You know why child labour laws exist?
Go on.
Because otherwise we'd make children work. So there literally has to be laws to say you can't make children work.
And that's a funny thing because, you know,
they're shit at work.
They're so fucking crap.
They're so shit.
They're so bad, like so annoying. But there's like, you know, the people talk about the age of understanding, which is where you should be able to consider a crime worthy of an adult's punishment.
Yes.
And do you know what that age was from like the 5th century till the 20th century?
13?
7. I'm not fucking with you, man. Up until you were 7, you were supposed to, like, if you committed like a mad crime, then you're getting punished like an adult. You're getting life in prison.
Dead right.
No, obviously, it still happens sometimes that juveniles will actually get an adult's crime, but it's quite rare. You have to really, really like commit horrible murder or something.
Yeah.
But sometime in the 20th century, they obviously brought in, you know, the juvenile punishment and stuff, and then the young offenders came out. It inspired the young offenders. It did. So that's that. But yeah, isn't that mad? 7. Fucking hell, like.
Jesus. So, like, you don't pay your taxes at 7, jail.
Yeah, but not even like that, but just like for committing crimes like stealing and stuff like that.
Yeah, not paying your taxes. That is a crime.
And the other one which you spoke about was biology.
Yeah. I think that's like, I think it's the first thing we kind of jump to. An adult, what we physically imagine rather than laws. And like, as we discussed in podcast number 1 is the full development of the prefrontal cortex. And like a lot of research, I think Blind Boy did a podcast on it. So, you know.
Who's he?
Oh yeah, we live in the alternate universe where Blind Boy Boat Club doesn't exist.
No, we are now Blind
The
Boy.
Rubber Bandits.
We are.
You're Mr.
Which
Chrome.
one are you? Am I Chrome? Am I?
You're taller.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I suppose. That's it.
That's it.
You know, like adulthood. Once you get to your peak height, yeah, you're an adult.
Imagine it was that, but a growth spurt of 15, you hit 6 foot.
But man, that's how it was. The like you're going to talk about the psychological and cognitive aspects. You just brought it up there, so yeah, you were going to talk about it.
Anyway, about the prefrontal cortex, and you see, obviously we kind of thought that like development into an adult, or the prefrontal cortex develops between ages of like 10. We thought it was like 18 or 19, and like only modern research is coming out saying that it's actually about 24. So there's
25 to 30 before your brain is fully developed.
25 to 30.
Yeah.
But
minimum 25.
That part which social behaviors, abstract thought,
reasoning, judgment.
Yeah.
The rational part of your brain.
Kind of things that make you an adult, that differentiate you from being a child or a teenager. That's not fully developed until 24, yet you're legally an adult from 18.
Do you know how we mentioned biology, and basically when you reach your peak height, when you've reached sexual maturity, it's like I think that was for the last while seen as, okay, yeah, you're an adult now, come on, look at you, you're the tallest you'll ever be, you're able to reproduce. But it's like, yeah, but in your head, you're not an adult.
It's so funny as well, though, because at the same time, while your brain is still developing, the second you finish puberty, you start aging.
Yeah, it's funny.
I remember only finding this out a few years ago. There's no grace period.
Nah.
You don't get to have a good few years of... it's all intact. Second I finish...
You peaked, okay, time to go down.
Fuck that. Like, I mean, I know, because the second I finished puberty, I started losing my hair.
Yeah.
I was 18 when I started losing my hair, because body was like, oh, you're finished puberty? Alright, time to age.
Time to get rid of it, yeah, exactly.
Like fucking milk, brother.
And you'll be aging.
I'm 19.
And you'll just age away now till you're dead, like. You're 19, you are. I hang around with a 19-year-old and I'm 25.
Well, you're 40.
Oh, yeah, I am actually.
You're aging really well.
Yeah, doing alright now, in fairness, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like, that's why, and we talk about this in the Leaving Cert podcast, that there's like people who consider, like, how doing your Leaving Cert at an age where you've reached, like, most of you by 18 would have reached your sexual maturity, or you're biologically finished growing and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're an adult, but really you got 7 years before you're actually an adult.
That's mental.
And I was talking about, like, we actually mentioned, I remember like the day that happened. I remember when I started actually feeling a bit more like an adult.
Your 18th birthday.
Yeah, the minute I drank a pint, now I'm an adult. When you can drink a pint, you're an adult.
Yeah, and just this is more of a tangent rather than a full-on point on this podcast. But
tangent away.
I will, brother.
There's no problem.
Yeah, like we're living longer.
We are.
Right? We are.
We are.
So like,
well,
In general, well...
You won't.
Well, I'm halfway there, lads.
Darragh, I hate to tell you, but...
I'm aging very quickly.
You're going to explode when you're 30. Or was that
So
me?
no, that's you. You're exploding when you're 30.
If you watched the Time Travel podcast a couple of episodes ago...
See now?
Remember we came to that conclusion?
Leave a comment down below.
On the web zone.
Saying I listened to episode 4. Morbidity compression is so instead of getting an illness in your 50s, you're like, and I mean chronic illnesses, like from 55 onwards, you're 70% likely to have a chronic illness like arthritis,
cancer.
So what's happening is because medicine is advancing, we're staying alive longer.
Yeah.
Morbidity compression is we're getting it much later in life, but much harder.
Yeah.
So when you kind of hit your 80s and stuff, you're gonna get a whack of things at once.
Yeah,
that's kind of better. Would you rather have the last 10 years, decade of your life, load of illnesses, or just a few chronic illnesses from 50 onwards?
Yeah, I'd rather just get hit hard when I'm 18.
Exactly.
You know, just say, look, I got to 80. Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
What more do you want, lads?
So that's an adult, lads.
That's an adult. When you hit 80. Just before you get that chronic illness and peg it.
I'm an adult.
Yes.
Die.
Dead.
Cool.
And also different cultures celebrate adulthood way differently as well, don't they?
Yeah. That's a fun one to move into tangent into.
Yeah, I mean the Jewish community.
I have this note as well.
Yeah, boys have their bar mitzvahs at 13.
Girls have bar mitzvahs, I think.
Yeah, exactly. At 12. Boys have them at 13 and girls have them at 12. Oh. And then you're considered an adult. Japan have a coming of age day when they're 20. What do we have? We have an 18th and a 21st, but like...
Yeah, it's culturally 18 and 21st.
It's just a piss up though. It's just like, you're 18. Oh, but now you're like kind of an adult at 18, but now you're an adult at 21.
And the Yanks, they can't do anything till they're 21. They can vote at 18 and join the army, but they can't drink
or buy fags
until they're 21. They can drive at 16.
Look, Yanks, I love you, but you're just doing it wrong.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, lads. Just bring that drinking age down to 16.
12.
And
driving age down to 4.
It's like 16, or is it 15 or 16 to drive?
16.
So you can have a learner permit at 15.
At 16.
I'm sure some states you can probably be younger.
I'd say so.
I think like 14 I've heard, but it's automatic.
Oh, it's great. They're just big go-karts.
They just press a button and it goes.
But that's why, because...
Yeah, there's less.
It's just a go-kart.
Yeah, true, yeah, with the clutch here, you see, that's...
Oh, fuck that.
Fuck, I remember learning how to drive, like, at the start.
3 years ago.
Whew. That was one... I think there's a few steps that make you actually feel personally like an adult, and that's one when you learn how to drive.
On that point,
but a lot of people don't drive, so what am I on about?
Stephen Collins, yeah, on that point, genuine question, what do you have to do, Steve, to, I don't know, be an adult nowadays? What do you think? And I don't mean biologically. I mean...
No, I know. You mean personally what makes you feel like an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's little small things, isn't there? Like, obviously, when you're paying bills and when you're not living at home, probably. I think a lot of it is financial. When you're financially independent, that's something. Anyway.
But then that's funny as well, because we're not completely financially independent yet, and we're 25. You're nearly 26.
Exactly. Fuck you for rubbing that in.
You're welcome. It's grand boy, I have no hair.
It's grand boy.
Yeah, and that's a funny thing as well, is like, I think our generation, a lot of us anyway, well, there's a lot of us then who have moved out or are working, making big money, grand, they feel like adults, and then there's us, a lot of people like us who still live with our parents.
Yes.
Our career-wise, don't know yet. Maybe still in college, maybe just coming out of college.
Maybe going back to college.
Maybe going back to college because they weren't happy with what we're doing.
Career, yeah. Us and Gen X, Gen Z, I mean.
Gen Z. Zoomers.
Yeah. Is that what we're calling them?
I think it's a nickname.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Zoomers.
On that point, here's a hot take. Is like,
Zoomers.
When you notice you're an adult, a grown-up, right, is when you can't relate to the younger generation. This is a hot take now, because TikTok.
Yeah.
For example, friends our age, right, who just maybe aren't into the social media, aren't up to date. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm doing well on TikToks, sketches on TikToks. Oh geez, isn't that an app just for 13-year-olds, huh? Is that just for kids?
See, obviously you're always trying to keep with current trends.
Yeah,
you have to, because you're online 3Me persona.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be a bit more clued in with the
I kind of want to keep
Zoomers.
For sure, because I want to entertain as many people as possible. Why would I say, oh no, I only want to entertain people my age and up?
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Oh, if you don't get it, you're young. Fuck you. No, I want to. That's what I love about TikTok, that I'm entertaining people way younger than me, people 10 years younger than me and plus. That's class. That, you know. It's a bit of a tangent now, but I think Monty Python were saying, like, because I was watching like a documentary about them recently, is like the fact that school kids were obsessed with us. We were like, wow, we're cool.
Yeah.
The fact that kids and teenagers like us and college students like us, I mean, that you're cool.
Yeah.
You know? If only fucking adults like you, oh, you're stiff.
Yeah, literally.
Boring. Oh,
yeah,
no,
that's bad.
But yeah, no, just the point. I'm like, but I think when you're an adult, and this is more of a piss take, lads. Don't worry about it. I know I'm not trying to take any personal shots at any listeners, but like when you're like, jeez, I don't get that now. Oh, jeez, that's not. I don't find that very funny now.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're old now. You're an adult.
Yeah, there you go, lads.
Your youth is gone when you can't relate to the youth.
Dirty old fucking.
Yeah, just humor wise, like, because that's the thing. Like when
you're stiff.
When you go through TikTok and the likes, you get the Gen Z humor.
Yeah.
And like I find a lot of it funny because it's very post our humor. All right, think back to when we were teenagers.
Our humor was like ironic. It was random. Random, yeah.
Lol, XD, Rafflecopter. That was us as teenagers, and that was the funniest shit going. Early memes,
Icon has cheeseburger, like
that was us, right? And then the Gen Xers above us were like, "What the fuck are they on about?"
Oh yeah, literally.
What the
fucking weirdos?
Our generation, the millennials. Well, we're the kind of young millennials, but millennials in general, we're now looking back in Gen Z, be like, "What the fuck are they on about?"
Yeah,
I don't get it because you're old.
Yeah.
Now
there you go, lads. You're old.
You're old.
Yeah. So I think, as you said though, like to go back to that question, when do you feel like you've become an adult? I think it would actually be interesting to go through the old responses on Instagram.
Oh, do you think it's straight in?
I think so. Yeah, because like we can say when we feel like an adult, and we'll talk about living at home in a minute. Yes, but I think it would be good.
Yeah,
so I'll grab the whole phone poker there and talk about what ye said to us.
For context, every week we do our best. Yeah, so every week before we make our podcast, we reach out to our lovely audience on Instagram. Just ask for your input, whether it's just a a suggestion or a word just, or I don't know.
Just an old chat,
So follow us, Lads Podcast.
That's it. If I could just find the fucking thing.
Subscribe, 3me.
Here we are now, all the lads. Right, so let's go down. Okay, Owen. Hi Owen, how's it going?
Hi Owen, how are you?
Well, yeah. How are you, Owen?
He's good.
How are you, Owen?
I am. He's good, yeah.
Yeah. He's alright. You're able to just communicate with him, like.
He's a bit tired now. He had a late one last night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
what was he up to?
We won't say on the podcast now.
Yeah, I know what you're doing, Owen.
I know what
you're fucking up to.
Very good.
Adult is when you were self-reliant.
Yeah.
Oh, and you blew us away there now.
Oh. I mean, yeah, he's not wrong.
After what you were doing last night.
So you'd want to be self-reliant if you're getting up to that kind of crack, huh?
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Jesus, now we're the parents.
When you're self-reliant in what way?
I think in all ways. When you are independent, when you do not depend on your parents.
Yeah.
Which is we technically do.
We technically do, and like obviously, like we're working, so
yeah,
we don't financially, but we do to an extent.
We're not paying rent.
Exactly,
Might contribute.
Oh yeah,
there's contribute, a bit of money and there's literally paying rent.
Exactly,
I will evict you if you stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Paying me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
my parents, they keep trying to evict me. I just keep come back in.
I know, just walk in.
They throw the stuff out the window, like in the movies.
You just throw it back in the window.
I throw it back up in the window. I have a really good throw.
Yeah,
and then I jump up in the window.
Oh yeah, you're 2 stories. Jump as well. In fairness, but we'll go back to us.
We'll come back to my jumping later.
Yeah, we'll talk about your jumping later. Tom said. When your ma lets you use the glass plates instead of the plastic ones.
You're allowed to use the glass plates.
You have fucking glass plates.
Jeez, posh
what
man.
What kind of house are you living in, Tom?
In Tom's house, everything's made of glass.
Glass plates.
What's his glass doors?
Ceramic glass, pint glasses as well.
Glass walls, glass windows. What kind of fucking
glass fireplace?
Who the fuck?
Glass telly.
Glass.
Fucking glass house, huh?
Glass house, glass ceiling.
Jesus.
Glass windows.
Glass hammer. Go around with the glass hammer, do you? Nailing in the glass nails.
The duck do.
With the duck do. Tom, go and pass me the duck do there. Tom, that was excellent, boy. Thanks for that. I really enjoyed that. And when your mother refuses to pay for your haircuts.
See, my mother cut my hair, so there's a bit of a paradox there. When I had hair.
I haven't cut my hair in 2 years, so I can't say much there.
I cut my hair twice a week.
I definitely paid for my own haircuts for a while.
And a serious point, it is when you start making money.
Yeah, when I got a job when I was like 19, it was like my parents stopped paying for things.
That's a big part of being an adult as well. Again, paying for getting a job.
Yeah.
And paying for yourself. At the same time, though, some teenagers, when you're some 16-year-olds have jobs and they go.
Yeah, it depends on how privileged you are, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we're very privileged,
the two
boys.
of us are very, very privileged.
Fucking loads of it.
Yeah, we're incredibly lucky, like, you know.
Indeed.
Laura said car insurance and pension for sure. You have a pension, fair fucks.
I don't have a pension. We were talking about this last night.
Yeah, we were.
I should get on this.
I do have a pension, but it's like, it's something that was required for the job I'm in. Like, it was just, I didn't set it up myself. It was like, the union I'm with was like, yeah, pension, go. Grace said, when you get like way too excited about things like washing powder being on sale.
Oh yeah, man, fucking 2-for-1s.
Oh yeah, that nice peanut butter.
3 for $5.
Big tub only for
the
$5.
Meridian tube.
Yeah, that's the one.
When it comes down from like a tenner to like
I'll
5.
go without peanut butter for weeks until that's ready.
Oh, that's the peanut butter that is just peanuts.
It's class. Oh, it's thick, like.
No sugar, no shit.
No shit, like.
No muck.
Daragh Toomey said, fuck off. Do you know what? Fuck off. When you can eat snacks.
I don't reveal my second name. They don't know my second name.
This is a good one.
Saying anonymous.
This is a good one. When you can eat snacks and chocolate without having to wait till after dinner.
When I move out of my parents' house, the first thing I'm buying
is eating loads of chocolate.
No, is buying Cocoa Pops.
Oh, you're not allowed Cocoa Pops.
We can't have Cocoa Pops in my house because my brother will eat them.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I am going to have Cocoa Pops for a year.
Every day.
3 meals a day, Cocoa Pops. I can't fucking wait.
The age for having children has definitely gone up. This is the last one.
100%. Yeah.
40 now.
40?
Probably.
You're not allowed to have kids till you're 40.
No, you're not allowed actually. Yeah.
It's
you
actually
have
legal.
to wait until you're 40.
They take the kid away and they, you know, put it into
But that's the thing, because, and it's like that.
Blender.
It's you're definitely in your mid-20s before you start becoming an adult. And because of economic reasons anyway.
So we're kind of going to answer our own question, but then discuss it. Is like, why don't we feel like adults? Why don't a lot of people our age really... Look, I do feel like an adult.
Yeah, same.
But we're missing a lot of key components that would have made previous generations adults, right? One is like, people were married and having kids in their mid-20s plus.
My parents...
They had gaffs.
My parents were married when they were 25 and had me at 26. That's me, like, now.
That's mental.
It's fucking crazy, like.
Yeah.
Although I live at home with my folks... And it's not a very parent-kid relationship anymore. Obviously, it's going to be a bit. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
But in fairness, they respect me as an adult and vice versa.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But you same yeah, exactly. So we do feel like adults, mainly because we're financially independent.
The point I'm making is like we're missing a lot of components that previous generations would have had to have.
Yeah. Move
out, job, marriage, kids, nuclear family, divorce. Man, I have to feel like an adult. I look in the mirror and I see a bald man. I'm sorry, like, but I am an adult.
I look in the mirror.
I'm a man.
I look in the mirror and I see a 40-year-old and I go, fuck it.
And then you move and then it's you.
Yeah.
He's always standing in front of you.
He's just always with me in the gaff.
Yeah. He's nice.
So, man.
We should bring him on the podcast sometime.
We should actually. Do you want to come on? No, yeah.
No, he doesn't want to come on the podcast.
He's behind the camera.
Yeah, but the biggest thing, this is something we want to just chat about, is fucking living with your parents. Because up until about about 2 or 3 years ago, still living at home, you know, whatever, I was very embarrassed.
I still am. Well, I'm less so now, but I do get a bit embarrassed saying I live at home, but I have my reasons. Like,
no, I don't know so much anymore, just because I spoke to enough people, and because a lot of people are in the same boat as us, and it's like, what the fuck? Why would you? We're living in a country.
Why would you what?
Why would you be embarrassed?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because we're living in a country where rent is so fucking expensive. It's so hard to even find somewhere to live in. We tried to. This is come off the point we made earlier.
Yeah.
When we finished college, we went, okay, look, we're finished college now. We're going full-time jobs, no more education. Let's move out together and us and a few friends. Nah, we went to how many gaff viewings?
Yeah, loads, and weeks of it.
Yeah, weeks and weeks of it. Landlords were just like, no.
We were actually dealing with agents for like, property companies, or what would you call them? Agency? What the fuck agencies?
Sure.
So you'd be dealing with the agents, so you're not even directly speaking to the landlord, and every time, just like basically, I think it was 3 of us wanted to move out, or 4 at the time.
It
2 of us and someone.
It varied.
Yeah, we had a few friends who were up for it, and it was like 3 young lads, not a hope, because we were 23 at the time or whatever, or 22. It's like, not a hope, no way. And like, we had our references for, we had our fake landlord references. But we had good work references, and we made enough money to justify what the rent was.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, and they were just like, it was just like,
Wasn't one I'm trying to, it's all coming back to me now, but wasn't one place like saying, oh yeah, do you all make a combined 60 grand or 80 grand?
A guy said, this was the second or third time we tried, so this was only like this was like last year.
We've tried a good few times to move out of our parents' house. We've tried 3 times over the last few years.
And we just gave up, and then a year later we try again.
We'll come to that, but...
So, once he said, he was like, and would the 4 of you combined make between 100 and 120k? I remember, because I was the only one at the viewing, I was fucking gobsmacked. Like, I couldn't think on the spot. Like, I was like, of course I had to bluff it. I was like, oh yeah, Jesus, yeah, definitely, yeah. But I was thinking, what the fuck? You know, I was really kind of put out by it. Yeah. But you see, technically, Daragh, like, we could have moved out, but not as... We couldn't have just got a gaff.
Yeah, we wanted to move it. But, I mean...
We could have got a room somewhere, but not on our...
It's not something that should be too hard to ask for, because we know plenty of people that live in gaffs with their friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not unheard of, so we were like, we should do it. No.
Yeah, everywhere we tried, we might have just been quite unlucky, because a lot of people do get to move out too.
I remember going to a viewing a year ago or so, when we tried, the last time we tried, and just chit-chatting with two lads about my own age. It's like, how long are you trying? I was like, a few weeks. One guy was like, oh yeah, I'm 6 months. Yeah. 6 weeks. Between those two time periods, and it was just, I was like, are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, I've another viewing now after this, and another viewing tomorrow. I was like, fuck me.
See, like, I'm sure I could have got a room somewhere, but, you know, like, I kind of wanted to do it with friends, you know.
Same.
I don't think it's too much to ask just to get a gaff, you know,
with
and just
pals.
But you see, now your only hope is to just get a room.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as we said, we just decided, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to stay at home a bit longer.
But yeah, we just kind of tried a few times. We tried about, I think, 3 times in the last, 3 years or so, going, right, time to move out. All the viewings got nowhere. And eventually people were just saying to us, look, you need to just find rooms somewhere. But we were like, we're best friends. We want to live together. We want to live with our pals.
Exactly. And
we've known each other for 20 plus years. And that was always the goal. When we're adults, we're going to live in the same gaff together. Nah. What we've been doing, it's funny now, getting onto, so this comes back to where we are. And the back house, you hear us talking about the back house. The back house is actually no more. Sad to say. The back house is now construction site and will be a house.
Yeah.
Because I'll start the story off. So we just come off another failed attempt to go renting to get a place, and we were like, fuck this. And you were like, Daragh, I might just get a mortgage of a really cheap place. I can do it if I save up for this amount of time. We'll live at home, do all this overtime.
Cheap apartment,
I can do it, and we'll live together. And I was like, fuck yeah, brother.
Well, look, there's a lot of, I was kind of considering, will I take a mortgage? And then I kind of went, oh, come on. Like, I was like,
I don't mortgage this young.
Well, especially because I'm no economist, but like,
yeah,
the amount of fucking money and the amount, the fucking, the absolute, the lifelong loan this early for a place that,
yeah, man,
it's such a permanent decision to make, and I don't know, I just think I was too young to be saying, okay, I want this, and also I'm not the kind of person who wants to say, oh, but it's grand, once I have it I can rent it out. I don't want to do that. If I want to buy somewhere,
a landlord.
Exactly.
Yay.
I don't want to. If I want to get a place, which what every fucking human should be able to do.
Yeah.
I want to fucking just live in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I said no. I'll save for a few years and get there. So what myself and my dad ended up doing was we talked about the back house, the little granny flat down there. So we're extending it out a small bit, and
you're grafting away, and you're essentially building you a gaff in the back of your garden, and that's the way things are now. Things have to be.
But it's really common, isn't it? The like logging cabins out the back, for people, and it's for like couples usually and stuff.
It's not unheard of anyway.
No, it's becoming a thing. Like it's
a friend of ours has an apartment down in his basement.
Yeah, and he's living in that because he wants to save up and eventually get a mortgage out in a couple of years.
And
that's kind of what I want to do as well.
Building a kind of little apartment granny flat essally.
Yeah, and it's
you're going to live in that.
Grand live in that.
And so for myself now. So when I was like, all right, I've literally run out of friends. Genuinely, because I was like, I had Steve, and then my pals live in different counties.
Yeah.
They live abroad, or they just have their own arrangements and commitments. And I was like, at least I have Steve. Oh, wait, now I don't.
Daragh, just live with me in it, boy. We can sleep in the same bed. It's grand.
You know what? Fuck it.
Toe.
But what happens when you bring girls home?
What fucking... No, I won't.
The once-a-year girl, man. What happens when you bring her home? I suppose I can, for that one night, I'll sleep outside.
Yeah, and vice versa, bud. When you bring someone home, I'll sleep outside.
I'm so glad you think of me so highly that I could bring someone home once a year.
But yeah, that's my little project, which is, and again, lucky enough that the folks were like, because they were the ones who said it. They said, we could extend that out. It's not too infringing on us, like, because you could have a separate entrance out the side, and obviously cost-wise, myself, like, Dad's a builder, so myself and him are just building it.
You're making it, in fairness to you.
So we're doing it as cheap as possible, obviously, like,
What I kind of like as well in this podcast, if you listen to it kind of linear every week, or if you're, let's say, it's 2025 and you're binging it, you'll be able to kind of get it
when we're 50.
In 2025, when we're 50.
Oh, I thought you meant 25 years. Sorry, boy. I'm
Fucking
just losing my mind.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the progression of our lives. Yeah, like, so Steve's building this gaff, and in a few months it'll be finished and moved into it. I'm trying to find a room somewhere, so if anyone wants me to live with them,
And in 2025, I'll still be living in
and I'll still be looking to move out of my parents' house.
That'll be the thing. But that's the danger. It's like I can't live in it forever because it's like.
Yes, you can, but I
suppose I can, yeah.
Who says you can't? Well, if you want to have a family, then you'll have to buy a gaff.
Yeah, if I fall.
But, you know, is there any kids coming along anytime soon?
No, not anytime soon. Do you see any?
Do you see any? Well, there's one over there, but I don't know who that belongs to.
No, that's not ours, is it? Yeah.
Here, shoo.
Shoo you now.
Get out.
Come on, go play with the dogs.
That's what happens when you leave the windows open, man. Kids get in.
They just get thrown in, like, just.
Thrown in. I don't want this. I know, that's yours.
Yeah, so that's
brilliant.
But that is a popular enough thing. I think especially in like Dublin where it's fucking crazy money, like.
Fuck
but
that.
Isn't it a bollocks though, that just to talk about that mortgage thing again, like if someone can fucking afford rent, because the price of rent is so much higher than a mortgage repayment.
Yeah.
If someone can fucking afford rent and has a job, let's say a permanent job or whatever.
What's sad is
why can't they get out with a mortgage?
Everyone who can afford rent can afford a mortgage.
Exactly. Like I know there's the down payment and that, and so it's hard to save for it. But maybe eventually you might get it saved, and then you're paying your rent. So okay, there's your proof that you can fucking pay it back.
Yeah.
Do you know? I hate it.
I suppose that was the Celtic Tiger though. Everyone was getting a mortgage.
110% mortgages. Here's your mortgage. Oh, you're going to need to get a car as well. So
you will have that
fucking
nice new house.
20 grand there as well.
You need a BMW as well.
Yeah, and y'all give out about spoilt millennial brats. You fucked us. Actually, on that point though, will we move on to what it was like in the past?
Sure. Yeah. Can I make a point? I just know very
just because I talked to my mother, I asked her a lot of questions.
Yeah,
about what
my
it was
granddad,
like.
my granddad Dan Toomey, he when he was 13 or 12 or 13, finished primary school.
What year was this?
2008.
Okay, yeah.
I know, man. Put it this way: he died in the 90s and he was in his 70s.
40s.
I would say late 40s, early 50s.
After the war.
Late 40s, sure.
Yeah.
When he was 13, finished primary school. And, you know, there wasn't much second level going around then. So he started an apprenticeship to work at a bar. You had to have an apprenticeship to learn how to tap barrels.
Oh, it was a really renowned trade.
Yeah, proper trade.
It was,
now it's sure, look, everything's automated now. You've
as we talked
calculators in your phone.
Yeah, but as we talked about before, sure, the Irish pub was such an important part of our culture. You know?
Yeah, he ran actually, my granddad, I think, was managing the Bullman in Kinsale back in the 60s, 70s, I don't know.
My uncle was as well.
Was he?
In the 90s.
Really? The Bull...
Yeah. The Spaniard.
Yours is the Spaniard. Yeah. Ours. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that little bit of history. They didn't own it or any, and they just managed it for... They ran it for a decade or so, and...
Nama owned it.
Nama owned it by no NATO.
No NATO.
Yeah, that was it. 13. Finish primary school. Off you go. Start working.
I'm sure back then, that's when you were an adult then, weren't you?
There was no teenage.
You know, once you're out of your school, it's a dead job.
Adolescence was only being invented in America at that stage, in the 50s, you know?
Yeah.
That's when the adolescent came around, because like, hey, we need a new demographic to sell shit to.
My mother gave me a nice little account.
Any money in it?
Yeah, you know.
A few grand.
Fucking... She gave me a little account on her experience of becoming an adult.
Okay.
So, she left home when she was 17.
Okay.
Over an argument with her dad over not cleaning the dishes properly. She got up and left. She's like, fuck this.
I'm not packing the dishwasher. Fuck you. Gone.
Something like that. So she went off to London. Imagine 17 just fucking off to London.
That's not that unnormal. You finish secondary school, people might move abroad straight away.
Sure, but 17 just feels very... I don't know. Yeah, so she'd write letters home, throwing any spare cash that was going to help her parents out. But she said her parents, they never had a fucking clue what anyone was up to. They wouldn't appreciate if they came home like intoxicated.
Okay.
Same with like smoking and swearing. You didn't do it apparently. It's funny, like, because like we're fairly, you know, but I can come home pissed and my parents are like, yeah, but locked.
Since we're adults, whereas back our parents' generation, when they became adults, they moved out. My mom was 18, went to college. Dad, exact same. They moved out.
That's the thing.
We didn't. We were, in fairness,
we have to be an adult around our parents.
We were allowed to become adults at home.
Exactly, and it's probably, I'm not saying it's not the way it should be, but it's definitely a new thing with our generation.
It is quite new.
It's a like there was a few years of of slight tension over me being an adult and my parents
transitional
period, and me being there, and like obviously they were a bit like, what the fuck, you know, and I understand that 100% because they're looking at their child become an adult while they're still living with them.
Yeah,
and it's a bit like now we're used to it. Now it's grand
because for when if we have kids, we're gonna kind of nearly expect it.
That's the thing.
Whereas
if our kids are like, oh, I'm going to move out when I'm 18, we'd be like, why? Why would you do that?
They were like, with what money? Yeah, we'll just be like, how the fuck are you going to afford that? Like,
literally,
fair play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose our parents' generations were just expected their kids to do what they did, turn 18 and move out. So whereas when we stayed, when we went to college, we did secondary school too.
Most people who moved out of home around her age would have had their day job, but they'd also have a bar work job at the weekends. Okay. For extra cash in social life, and every bit of money you got, you'd spend it. Wasn't really much thought of it savings. Okay. That was her personal experience with all her friends around us. But yeah, the 2 jobs thing is interesting. It was a case of no, like probably to some stage, fuck your quality of life. You're moving out of home. You're paying for 2 jobs if you have to do it.
Yeah,
you know? So it's interesting.
But then they had a very old school Catholic family. How many siblings does your mom have?
She had 10 siblings.
There you go.
She told me it wasn't just her; it was just the way it was around.
Yeah, true.
Around Cork, around where you know. So it's interesting. So, but this is the best thing. She said, I think my rent in London was about £30 a week, and there was never any problem finding a rental house. You were able to pick and choose. Like you'd be leaving a place because this place is better and it's close to work and all this kind of stuff. And like jobs were in London at the time anyway. She was like moving from jobs to jobs. Like it was grand.
Yeah.
Usually no deposit required. Maybe a week in advance. For context, I looked up what £30 was I put in 1986 because I think she would have been about 18 then.
Okay, sure.
1986, £30 was the equivalent of £74 now, which is about €82. So in London, like London rent now is like. So I took into account inflation, you know what I mean?
That's
so anyone could say, "Oh, well, that was back then," you know?
Yeah.
Oh, 82 a week.
82 a week. Okay.
But still, for London, I was looking up London. I think you're paying at least 200 quid a week, even in probably the cheaper parts of London.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Inflation wise, that's it. Have you ever seen the movie Failure to Launch?
No.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a 35-year-old man, and his parents can't get him to move out, and he falls in love with a girl, and the girl wants him to live with him, and he's like, no, but I like living with my parents, and but then because of love, he fucking explodes.
Does he explode, does he?
Fucking
Head explodes.
25 minutes into the movie as well.
Jesus.
Just bang, and then the rest of the movie is just we watch these people's day-to-day lives. Look, it was a big long tangent really, but we just kind of were like, yeah, adulthood, moving out, it's all kind of synonymous. And I think that was, I said this just, a while back in the podcast, but a few years ago I was really embarrassed because I was an adult. I was 23, had finished college.
You were in the pub, you were shifting a girl.
That was my whole...
listen now, you were in the pub, you were shifting a girl. There was the talks of, we go home, and you were like, I can't ask them home. Live with my parents.
Look, no, it's never come up.
It happened.
When?
I was there.
No, you were... And I was shifting you.
I was watching.
That was you I was shifting by.
No, but we've never shifted. I don't care what you think. Someday, boy.
Anyway, a few years ago, I was just really embarrassed because I think I was in a band, all my bandmates were living out at home, and I was the one guy living with his parents and just got the fucking piss taken out of me. Rightly so, fair enough, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But I was just at the time being like, yeah, geez, and then, we tried to move out and didn't work out, and I was just like, I'm not an adult. Fuck me. I'm not a man.
Yeah, because I still...
But I am. It's just I can't control the socio-economic factors and housing.
Yeah. No, because, do you know what? In conclusion, I do feel like an adult at this stage.
That's good to hear. I'm delighted to hear by.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
good point. Very good point. Thank you for listening to the lads
obviously,
podcast.
I'm still living with my parents, even though we all respect each other as adults. They still have that bit of control over me.
If you really want Steve to move out of his parents' house, just go to patreon.com /the lads podcast. Okay, there's 3 tiers. One tier I want to talk about. It's the most expensive one, but people, just for context, right? If you were to pay €10 a month, or you could just do it for 1 month, it's fine. It's your money. You do whatever you want. You can commission us to say anything you want. Well, not anything. There's a bit of cop on.
Yeah, we're not saying anything racist or anything.
No, exactly. I thought that was implied, Steve. But thanks for.
No, I just had to point it out. Like,
thanks, Steve.
Just in case it wasn't fucking obvious.
But look, if you have a poem, if you have a short story, if you have a radio sketch. If you want us to record something up to a minute long,
little interlude, like, you know, little
yeah.
intermission, you know, like at the shop, like clean up on aisle 5.
Yeah, if you want us, yeah.
If you're a Super Value, you know, owner,
throw us a tenner.
You
you can do it every month if you want. You can do it 1 month and change to €2 a month, whatever you want. It's all there. Patreon.com/The Lads Podcast. Just wanted to throw that out there because we never said that one officially.
That's actually only for fun as well, by the way, because I said, oh yeah, if you're like a shopkeeper and you want to do that, because no, if it's commission work, lads, it's a different kettle of fish there now.
If you're like, if Kellogg's get onto us and they're like, tenner for fucking high quality voice acting, absolutely.
For the lads,
No. That's that. If you run a business, well, I'll have to have words. Then it's €12.
Yeah, so that was a
podcast.
That was a podcast,
isn't it?
I think next week what will we talk about next week?
Don't know. We haven't.
We should talk about something silly now next week.
Yeah, I think
because this one was one of the more kind of serious ones. Obviously, they're all, as you say, they're all relatable. They're all.
I would say it's early days. It still technically is, but we're finding our groove. We kind of know what the podcast is in a sense, but at the same time, look, you can always, and we want you to, we advise it to reach out to us and give us a bit of feedback, what you're liking, maybe what you're not liking. If there's something you think, look, I like this, but I don't like this. Look, because we're just going to kind of keep doing it, and if everyone's being like, yeah, it's brilliant, then we'll be like, okay, keep at it.
Yeah.
But we want to make this as good as possible, a more entertaining listening experience for you. So if maybe topics like this are too serious, maybe you like the serious stuff, maybe you want more funny stuff and silly stuff.
Yeah.
Let us know. I think we should do something sillier next week.
Yeah.
Like we did time travel a few weeks back.
Time travel, and that was a nice silly one. Then we had
death.
No, then we had the relationship with alcohol.
Yeah, Ireland booze.
No, that was before, wasn't it?
I don't know, Steve.
So cool. I think we'll do a nice silly one.
And look, and on that point, look, with feedback, if there's a topic you really want us to talk about, just write to us. Just look up The Lads Podcast on Instagram, best way to find us, or tweet me or Daragh me, whatever the fuck you want. Look, if there's a topic that, look, I think this would really suit you, fuck it, we'll do it. Why not? We're doing this every week, so
exactly.
We'll talk about anything, really, to be honest.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, so look, we're all adults. I think that was a good kind of dissection of adulthood. It was.
We're all adults.
Look, that
was a good way to end it.
Even if you're 14, lads, we're all adults here.
You're an adult. You're an adult at 7 when you're at the age of understanding. If you're in the 20th century.
I think that's the conclusion of this podcast.
You're 7, you're a fucking adult. Come on, get your boots on. Go to work.
Pay your rent.
Lose your hair. Grow a beard. Shave. Do all that.
Shave the dinner. Eat your hair. Hair stew. Thank you for listening to The Lads Podcast. We're back here at the same place, same time every week. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you every week. Yeah, fuck off.
Go on.